our shadows in the dark. They will lead the way to the hidden pathways of the heart. In that secret place, that is where I find my start.
Welcome to the Shadow and the Light podcast with internationally renowned meditation teacher, davidji.
And heart healer and psychotherapist, Elizabeth Winkler, as we guide you through our unique fusion of ancient wisdom and modern psychology.
Get ready to awaken your true essence, heal your wounds, and transform your shadow into
It's here to remove all our fears and to bring new light. The light is the light that will go to the deep to take us to new heights. The shadow and the light.
Hi, davidji.
Oh, hello there, Elizabeth. This subject has just been burning inside of me, and you and I talk about this all the time in so many different ways. This would be our episode on manifesting. And for those of you who don't know how our podcast goes, one of us introduces the topic. The other person has no idea that this is the thing that we're going to dive into. So everything's spontaneous. We are not scripted. And we have Mateo, our engineer here, just gazing at us, raising the level of one person when they talk and putting the other level down of the person who's not speaking. So Elizabeth and I don't step all over each other because we're so, I have this to say. I have that to say. So just so you know, this is the most enthusiastic podcast you have ever been exposed to in your life. And it's probably the only podcast out there that's not scripted. We are purely flowing our hearts because there's no sponsor. Although it would be better to have a sponsor out there, but there is no sponsor right now who's dictating what we do. And Elizabeth?
Yes?
Would you like to manifest your understanding of manifesting?
It's such a fun subject. I love this subject. I mean, we're always manifesting. We are creators.
Co-creating in every moment.
We are. And I guess the question is, are you in the present moment or are you in the mind, the voice in your head, the ego, fear, holding on? And when we are in our unconsciousness of just listening to the voice in our head, we tend to find that we are in patterns of behavior. We continue to manifest unconsciously, but we have a choice. We can be more conscious creators in our life. And so you and I taught a course on this last year, and I loved that. And for me, the beginning, we're going to go through a bunch of steps, but you have to first orient to the self with a capital S. So I often say we move out of the prison of our minds into the prism of our true being. So if we're in the prison of our minds, that's the good, bad, right, wrong, ego structure that we've talked about a lot in many episodes. And then there's the prism. Why do I call it the prism? Well, we are that prism. And you can have one foot in the white light of awareness and one foot in the rainbow of creation experience. So that's the prism. And so in order to do that, we need to orient to our true nature, our original self. And another way is moving from our roles, which is all the mind, ego, to role to soul. Yeah. So from our deepest level. So we first need to connect there to the who am I, my I amness. Not I am Elizabeth, I am that. I am, just getting to that. So we need to relax. In order to be able to manifest, if you're in a clinging space of like, oh, I need that, you're probably in your mind and you're probably in scarcity. So we need to orient to that original true nature first.
Manifest comes from the ancient Latin word manifestus, which means to make clear or obvious. So if we go back to that original word, if we think about that even for a moment, when we say, I want to manifest a soulmate, or I want to manifest a pile of money, or I want to manifest a new electric vehicle, or whatever it is, you think there's some place to go to create this thing. And Elizabeth, you hit it on the head. this thing has already taken place and it's inside of you. Can you get out of the way? Can you allow the veils to fall away to reveal what has already been created? And that's what manifesting is. You're looking for something. It's already been given to you, but you're looking for it. So we start to realize that so much of the quests that we go on, the vision quests to find the thing, the prayer, the begging, the hopes, the wishes and dreams are taking us further away from this thing. And as Elizabeth, as you said, if we can just connect to that essence inside of us, the stillness and silence that rests within, the truth will reveal itself. And that's why I always refer to manifesting as a co-creation between you and anyone else who's part of that conversation. Could be the universe, could be your higher power, could be a friend of yours, could be someone who's truly on your side or rooting for you. But this is the beauty. Manifesto in Italian is a public declaration, right? This thing already exists. We're just tapping into it, awakening it, and sharing it with the world. Can we trust enough that the things we believe and dream and desire will present themselves if we are fully aligned? You know, there's the goddess Kuan Yin, who will grant any wish, under any circumstance, except there's just one caveat. Her rule is, I will grant you that wish as long as it causes no ill to anyone. So if you're like, no, 10 billion people will be made happy, but one person will be hurt by this, Kuan Yin's not giving you that one. So close your eyes right now, rest your hand on your heart, and say, is this thing that I want so badly, where is it coming from? My head or my heart? What would my heart desire most? And who would I like to invite into my life to help me in this co-creation? And take a deep breath in. Release your attachment to outcome, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 47, and release it all. Detach from the outcome. You've planted the seed, and if the seed and the soil are fertile and rich, and you nourish it by connecting to the stillness and silence that rests within, what you truly dream of will reveal itself from inside.
Yeah. You always say it's about the soil, not the seed, right? So there's so much that we can do to fertilize that soil. So if you're struggling with anything, if you have pain, fear, doubt, we all do, you can work with that energy. Allow yourself to be present with that, to, as I've said before, welcome that energy and allow kindness to mix with it. That will allow that to become fertilizer within you. And, I think it's really important that we connect with our North Star around this when we are orienting, in order to help us orient to our deepest self. What is your guiding light through this life? What matters to you most? You can reflect back from this moment to your entire life and reflect back and notice what were the moments that stood out as meaningful, as deeply meaningful. What is the energy of that? And then from that space, add that into your heart as, an energy that you want to create from. Then you're accessing a deep, abundant space that that you've experienced, that you viscerally have inside of your body, which helps, with us manifesting. We need to feel it. So we shift by connecting to that and allowing any doubts you have. Let doubt be your doorway. So not being in fear of doubt, but allowing it to be a doorway into the unknown, because the present moment is very uncertain. When we were teaching this together, I think that's when I defined doubt as It's a denial of our original union. So D, deny, original, O, U, union, betrays your true nature. So doubt is deny original union, betrays your true nature.
DOUBT.
Deny original union, betrays truth or your true nature. There's not an N at the end, so it could be truth. Deny original union, betrays truth. What's truth? Your I amness, your abundance, your natural state of being. So let doubt be your doorway.
Yeah.
No fear of doubt. Actually, that's right when it's about to happen. People go into doubt and they're like, oh, and then they run back to their head. It's like, wait, just stay with that. Trust. Set your intention and let go.
We could attribute this to Rumi. Who knows if he actually said this or wrote this, but it's attributed to him. What I seek, I already am.
Mm-hmm.
What I seek, I already am. The thing is already real. If it is aligned with the bigger forces, your household, your world, your higher power, then it begins to grow. And if it's not aligned, you're going to spend too much time in the weeds of it and miss it in that process. It's like we have the winning lottery ticket, but it's hidden in our junk drawer. But we have it. We actually went out and bought it, and they announced it one day, and here's the winning lottery ticket, but it's sitting in your junk drawer. So do you want to spend some time cleaning out your junk drawer? If you listen to our podcast, you know that Elizabeth helped me empty my junk life by letting go of a couple of canoes. That was in our episode,
Deep Therapy,
where Elizabeth did deep therapy on me. And I think I'm a little bit less of a hoarder now. A little bit less. I'd like to think I'm moving towards the light.
Do we have some more work to do now?
We still have some more shadow work to do. But this is a really important aspect. The only intention you should have is the intention to be present, instead of the intention to this or that. But you take a step and you lean into the direction of the thing that you dream and desire. Elizabeth, I remember when we were doing our course together, and it was really great. You know, Elizabeth was in her home, I was in my home, our home offices. And then in our final webinar, we were here, right here in this podcast room. So that was pretty cool. That was pretty amazing.
We manifested that.
We did manifest that. And I don't think either of us talked about it during the entire 7 weeks. Mm-hmm. And then right before it was like, oh, come on, let's do this thing.
Right. This podcast is a really great example of manifesting from your deeper being, because it was an organic thing that we weren't like, okay, we should do this thing. You know, like it came out of a heart conversation, and then it took off. And many people here may have their own versions of that story. And I guess once you've done the manifesting work of working with your pain, your fear, your doubt, allowing that to be the fertile soil, orienting to your true being, connecting to your North Star, you know, all that stuff, setting your intentions, letting go, and trusting the process. Also looking at, what am I living from day to day? And am I listening to that sensory experience of what is David Hawkins? What is the name of that book?
Power versus Force.
Power versus Force. It's making me think of that. Where am I being drawn? Am I being driven, or am I being drawn? That to me is so much about when you're really living from that deeper driving desire from the Upanishads. What is your deepest driving desire? When you're in alignment with that very deep place, it's like the universe supports you. It's so much. It's like I remember when I created my heart process for children, I called it a flock of doves moving through me, because it was something that wanted to be born, and it just happened, you know, one night when my son was upset. And so things are like that. There are things that are wanting to be born, to be manifested through each person. And often it's through your pain, your doubt, your fear. When we go through challenging shadow times, there's gold in that. And there's usually a teaching, a wisdom within that. And you can access that if you allow yourself to go in it. And then something beautiful is born from that.
Yeah. Our courage is forged out of this fire. You were talking about doubt. Self-doubt is so important. It's actually a component of the manifesting process, because there needs to be part of you that second guesses the moment. And even the hero's journey, Joseph Campbell talks about the hero who senses the calling or hears the call. And always, every single hero, at some point in that first phase, resists the call. Look at any of your superheroes from the Marvel universe, from Avengers, from Star Wars. Pick your superhero. They've been summoned to like deliver the goods or do whatever or allow their superpowers to thrive or shine. And then, of course, at some point, they resist the call because they're saying, oh, who am I? Who am I? Or this isn't the moment. All these different reasons why this would not be the time to do the thing. And I think that's actually a core component, because you don't let a false start, you don't let a second guessing, you don't let doubt derail you. Everything needs to be course corrected. Everything. Even when we have a new relationship, we don't know who the other person is. We think we do. We love something about them or are attracted to something about them, but then we begin this little dance. I'll show you mine if you show me yours. And it's like, here's another intimate thing about me that you didn't know. And if they go, oh, do tell, then you reveal more. If they go, what? You voted for that person? It's over. Like, no, I was just kidding. And then you like, don't reveal it. But there needs to be I'll show you mine if you show me yours. I'll expose just a little bit more of my heart to you if you do it to me. A little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And this is what the manifestation practice is. You willing to get so vulnerable that you can say, yeah, here's what I really want. Why don't we do that? We're so afraid that if there's a failure, and this is why in every hero's journey, the hero resists the call, because it's like, oh, I don't want to announce to the world that this is what I want. People are very, very afraid to reveal, here's the thing I truly want. And it will require a course correction. It will require a stumble. That's actually part of the game plan. If you got the secret manifesting handbook with its golden pages and parchment print that's been around for thousands of years that Merlin or somebody else wrote, and then you turn the page, on page 1 or page 2, it's going to say, you will stumble and second guess. Keep going. You must trust your heart. And your heart never lies. Your head does, but you're going to be confused at times. And you're going to listen to your head and move into areas that the heart says, why are we going over here? And then maybe you'll stumble or maybe you'll trip. But tripping is important. Stumbling is important. Second guessing is important, because something inside of you then is summoned, is awakened to override the second guessing, the doubt. And that T is truth. That's the ultimate truth. And so manifesting is like, how can I align what's inside of me with something that's bigger, so much bigger than everything else? How do I align that? And if I do, wherever I go, I got the universe's wind underneath my wings. I'm moving in the direction of my dreams. And that's a win, because that's how we get there.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to manifest something else right now. And I would encourage you, you got to move it out of your head into the tangible world. You have to write it down. You must write that thing down, whatever it is. Whether you want to tap it out or type it out or write it out, but you have to move it from concept into the tangible world. Elizabeth, what are your 3 steps or 5 steps? Do you have steps? Is that a ridiculous question even?
I just think that to allow whatever comes in, like pain or doubt, to be the fertile soil, to really allow that, as I was mentioning before. Also, to know that you're not going to know a lot, that you're going to be in that space of not knowing. After you trust, what are you trusting? The not knowing space. Well, that's where manifestation and creation happens.
Wait. Go deep into that. That is brilliant. That's it's so classic Winklerisms. You know, she drops the mic drop line and then just like rolls on as if the lightning bolt has not just come and blown up the entire room. Please repeat.
I don't know what I said. I said to trust the not knowing space, to trust the uncertainty of the now. The now is where everything is. So this is why we need to orient to our depth, to our I amness.
And we sometimes get so wrapped up in our dream or desire or our seed that we're missing the entire other component of the process. And we're ignoring the fact that you're going to second guess and you're going to doubt. We see that as an impediment while we're on our journey to manifesting, when in reality, it's part of the path.
It's the door.
It's the door.
It's the door. Doubt is your doorway. Doubt is your doorway to creation.
Right.
So if you're feeling that, keep going. If it feels uncertain, if it feels like there's no ground beneath you, keep going. Trust the process. Stay connected to your North Star, what you value, what is your deepest driving desire from your soul and from what you value throughout your lifetime. And keep working with that, living from that not knowing space and allowing what spontaneously arises to be your guide. That is your wisdom in the present moment. It's not the voice in your head. That's fear and clinging. You know, a lot of people are clinging. I remember having someone in my office many, many years ago who had read every single book and had even written books on this subject, but was really, really stuck. And it was very apparent that this person was so in the clinging, the hoping. And my acronym, here we go again, is another acronym, holding on prevents expansion. So hope, when we're clinging from the mind space, holding on prevents that expansion, that creation to occur.
So powerful.
When we cling too much, we block ourselves. So you really got to let go and be like, okay, I'm creating this vision, this visualization that I have in my mind's eye as I meditate, etc. This or something better. You know, I'm turning it over to the universe and let this creation fall into the field of my manifestation. I have personally, when I do any exercise on this, I see this certain field and I do my orientation to my original being, to my soul. I connect to my north. Any doubt, I allow that to be a doorway. I get in touch with what is the intention that wants to be born? What is the deepest desire? And then I visualize it on a screen. I see that coming into creation and allow that just to take off. And then after that, I let that screen just explode into billions of pieces. And they are all seeds that fall into that manifesting field. And I let them fall. I let it go. And just trust and sit in that space and breathe that in and feel into it and the gratitude of it, the gratitude of that creation. What is it going to bring into other people's lives? How is it going to touch other people? How will it be enriching? You know, these are for the wealth of all beings, not just for you and you alone. I think you can also ask questions if you don't know what your deepest driving desire. What is it that wants to be born from my heart, from my depth, from my pain, from my doubt, from my, self-hatred, whatever it may be. I think that all of the things that we go through are here to help us create some kind of light from the darkness. I certainly have that for my own life, from all the losses that I've had. And, I do a lot of work in loss and grief. I have a project I'm working on in grief. I feel like there's like millions of angels in the room when I'm working on it, because it's like, oh yeah, this is Dharma. This is your Dharma. Each of us has Dharma, here. And I think it's usually in the pain that we have gone through, which then gives your pain purpose. And then you become, a way of healing the pain that other people have experienced in the same realm. And maybe you can speak to Dharma, because the roots of that, davidji.
Yeah, well, you're just blowing me away here. This is so powerful. And again, a lot of this stuff gets jumbled up. What do I want to manifest comes from, what are my dreams and desires? We reel it back. What's my purpose in life? Reel it back just a little bit more. Who am I? The deepest questions we could truly ever ask. And some of us are in the groove right now. We know exactly who we are, and we know exactly why we're here. We're doing purposeful work. We're doing acts of fulfillment and service simultaneously. That's the win. That's the win. When we go into the deepest, just happen to have a copy of it right here. Always travel with the Gita. I have about 63 Gitas in my life. I keep one in every single important place. So I have one in my car, I have one on the nightstand, one in the bathroom, one in my tool shed, one in this office, one in the podcast room, one in my bed in case I can't get to my nightstand. I am heavily Gitaed. One of the most beautiful and powerful things of the Bhagavad Gita, translated as the Song of the Lord, is that the word dharma is used a lot in there. And you have to realize the Bhagavad Gita was written 2,300 years ago, so 300 BC. The word dharma, as it's referenced within the Gita, means duty. So when we ask ourselves that question, what's my purpose? The Bhagavad Gita answers even more profoundly, what's your duty? And it's not saying, what's your duty from the moment you were born to the moment that you're dying? It takes these magnificent snapshots of our existence and says, well, what's your duty now? At this phase of your life, what is your duty now? And this comes from a dharma, duty, as it is there, but it comes from the Sanskrit root dri, D-H-R-I. We get the word dharma from that same root, dri. And dri means that which upholds. And so before we're questioning, what do I want that's not this moment? We come back to the source of purpose or the source of duty or the source of dharma, not what's the thing that I want that I don't have, but essentially coming back to the foundation, the ground upon which I stand, that which upholds. This is a classic ancient spiritual teaching that we're always looking for that thing. We're seekers, not seers. And we spend so much time in the seek mode, in the looking out there mode, in the, I only have 3 hard-boiled eggs. I sure would like a 4th. Hey, I only have the iPhone 13. I know there's a 16 coming. And we can go on and on. I was so excited that I got a new microphone. I'm not using it right now, but I got a new microphone for my meditation recordings, the SM7DB by Shure. I have the SM7B. I've had it for 20 years. If you've ever listened to me guide you in a meditation, it's been using that mic. This is the microphone supposedly that Michael Jackson used in Thriller. Don't know, but it's definitely the microphone that davidji used on over 1,700 meditations. And then I found the new upgraded version. There's a new thing, and it's got, what does it say? Active preamp. Whew, so exciting. So we are in this quest for that which is not now, which drives us to get new lovers, new cars, new money, new crypto, new house, new apartment, new town, new city, new drink, new food, new phones, new whatever. Which brings us back to gratitude. Always. So if we look at the most ancient teachings, this concept of dharma is not necessarily to capture something that's over there in the distance someplace. It's to truly first acknowledge, what is the ground upon which I stand? What is that which upholds? And then let me allow that to level up in its highest expression.
Beautiful. You're making me think of gratitude creates the energy of receiving. We can't receive the manifesting experience if gratitude creates that flow into us. And so many of us are not in receiver mode, right? So we're putting out, but we also need to be able to bring in that frequency, that vibration of receivership. This is all about frequency. What frequency are you at? And you need to be in the frequency of it in order for it to come in. Otherwise, it's like static energy, right? Can't come in. So what are you vibing with? Are you sowing seeds of love or are you sowing seeds of fear? Are you in, I want that, as you said, seeking, or in seeing? I am that.
Right. And we see this so often where it's like, I want my soulmate. And then the person rolls up and we're like, oh, not actually what I was looking for. I was looking for someone who, this is what you're saying in your head. Here's this person who's sweet, kind, likes you, is entertained by you, looks like they could adore you, but they don't look like Harry Styles. And you had Harry Styles in your head. It was Brad Pitt or Harry Styles, and maybe Clooney, but no one else. And this person comes in, maybe they're a little bit chubby. When I was in Starbucks this morning, there was a guy in front of me, a guy like, me, fairly chubby guy with a shirt that says chubby and hard to kidnap. And I thought that was, that was like such a great sweatshirt line. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one. Mateo and Elizabeth are looking at me like, keep telling the story. Don't get so entertained with your own. That's etched inside of me. Chubby and hard to kidnap. So, right, because if you're chubby, you're harder to. Anyway, it's lost on you guys, so it's probably lost on everybody listening.
But this is about anchoring into your abundance, right? So how can we do that? Being in that I am space.
Stop. Classic Elizabeth. Anchoring into your abundance. It's a mic drop line. It's one of those things that should end up in some historical book of amazing quotes. And she just utters it and then rolls right on. This is one of the things that if every single person on the planet did, we would have these spontaneous manifestations all over the place.
Absolutely.
So talk about how can I right now anchor more or more deeply into my abundance.
Understand that you are not the voice in your head. That's the whole thing, basically. Not the voice in your head. So you need to, what we said in the beginning, orient to the true self, the I am self. And there might be a lot of things that are standing in the way of that. That's okay. We can work with that. Meditation is a great tool to help you let go of the voice in your head and to go down into the heart and to heal your heart and allow all of that to become the fertile soil in which you will plant your seed and connect to that North Star and getting into gratitude. What am I grateful for? That all of those energies will allow you to move deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into your true being, into this present moment that is here now. Just get into your feet. If you anchor into your body, that is a way to anchor into your abundance. If you're putting attention anywhere in your body, your attention is not in your mind. So it's not feeding those thoughts. You're in presence. It's all about being in presence. And then instead of thinking, what is my sense? I'm sensing rather than thinking. That's a really powerful tool. Instead of, we're moving out of thinking and into sensing. What am I drawn to? What is wanting to be born from this deeper space?
Wow, such a powerful question to ask. What is wanting to be born from this deeper space that really allows you to look at this not from the ego, but more as a silent witness, more objectively, which ideally should allow truth and love to elevate out of this. So you talk about this concept that you created known as the boomerang effect, which is, someone's in a relationship when they end that relationship or they complain about that relationship. And after that, they become the thing that they were complaining about or the thing that they resisted in that initial relationship. The boomerang effect is what you called it. But you said there's sort of like a positive reason for the for the boomerang
So
effect.
I think the boomerang effect is how manifesting happens, like unconsciously, or we're always manifesting. We're just not consciously doing it. And when we're unconscious, the universe brings the thing you judged before in another body. And it doesn't have to be immediate. It could be immediate. It also could be, I know for myself, I went through a relationship with someone and like years later, I was in another relationship with someone. Many, many years later. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he's me back in that relationship. And it helped me forgive myself and my ex I think it's the universe's way of trying to put us on the opposite side. We talked in another episode about there's a 6 in front of me and you see it as a 9. It's like now I'm in 9 and that person's in 6, and I'm understanding and able to let go of my strong belief system that they were doing something wrong and I was right. We're not in this, right, wrong, good, bad space of the ego. Rather,
what Elizabeth's talking about, this is something that happened in another episode where I took a piece of paper and I wrote a 6 on it, placed it between us, and I'm looking at a 6, but she's on the other side of the table, so she sees it as a 9, and we can argue till the cows come home. It's a 6, it's a 9, it's a 6, it's a 9.
And we're both right.
And we're both technically right, but we're not seeing the other person's perspective. So Elizabeth's breakthrough moment in that instruction is, help me see your 6.
Help me understand. Yeah. Help me understand. That's what we can do in our relational conflict. However, the boomerang effect is literally putting you on the other side. Right. And this is what I see with clients.
Right. Instead of saying, help me see your, suddenly it's like, here you are. Now you are the thing that you resisted and whined and complained about.
Totally. So this is happening to us all the time, and you can start to look at this. And if you have your own stories of this, let me know, because I'm actually working on a book on this right now called The Boomerang Effect. And I have all of these stories personally, professionally, that I see about how this is happening. And if you can allow it, when you're sitting in that experience and you're like, oh gosh, this reminds me of when I was doing that thing, I was clinging on to someone and now I'm the one pulling away. That's what my ex did, or whatever it is. That's one of the examples. It's just trying to help you understand that other situation. Now you're in it. And it's just a beautiful way to have compassion and empathy for ourselves and each other, and forgiveness.
Yeah.
That's like manifesting from an unconscious place. And then we can learn how to be more conscious in our lives.
Any other guidance?
So when we are in our manifesting experience and, we can get really in our heads about it. And as you said, like, oh, is this the dream guy that I was manifesting or not? And, I think it's allow yourself to discover, stay open, maybe not. Be with what's arising in your life because it's manifesting, and see what you are sensing rather than what you are thinking about it. I'll let you talk about today's takeaway.
And now it's time for today's takeaway, which we often refer to as living the light.
What do you think it is?
Well, since our theme has been manifesting, although we have expanded those lanes, the manifesting superhighway, today's takeaway, number 1, trust your heart. Number 2, there's nothing out there that you need to create. It has already been delivered to you. Can you trust? As the ancient Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu said, do you have the patience to wait until your mud settles and the water is clear? Can you remain unmoving till the right action arises by itself? That doesn't mean don't do anything. It means prep, get ready, tap into your inner essence, and allow. That's today's takeaway. My name is davidji. I'm here with the magnificent manifester of all alchemical transformations, Elizabeth Winkler. This is the Shadow and the Light podcast. Jamar, help us do a little manifesting here.
I will not be afraid of the shadows in the dark. They will lead the way to the hidden pathways of the heart. In that secret place, that is where I find my start. The light, it is here to remove all my fears and to bring new sight. The light, it is love that will go to the deep to take me to new heights. The shadow and the light, there's no fountain, rock bottom. You hold it as your ornament, but don't rush past this moment. The darkness can become a friend. Love will come by your side and you'll shine. shine bright.